Do you think there is speculation to believe that these countries, Britain, Australia, the United States, could actually be physically sending in their troops to Ukraine, like you said, because there hasn't been any of that? We actually haven't had, soldiers from these NATO countries, soldiers going in and helping Ukraine. We've been sending all of our military aid, we've been sending financial aid, humanitarian aid. But is 2024 going to see all of these Western allies send their soldiers over to actually fight?
Well, you're absolutely right. The Western allies have done everything except put their own troops on the ground thus far. And it is not beyond the bounds of possibility that if Russia starts to make some serious progress, that NATO and Western allies like Australia are going to have to consider their position. What is clear, I think, to me and a lot of others who watch this war very closely, is that if Putin prevails in Ukraine, he will not stop there. And of course, the first time he attacks a NATO country, and the next countries beyond Ukraine are NATO countries, that will bring the West into conflict. Now, it might well be that if NATO leaders see that as a possibility, then they may well have to commit forces to prevent that happening, which could possibly mean, British and other NATO forces actually fighting in Ukraine. Now, that is still some way off, which is why it's so important. And I absolutely agree with President Zelensky, the Ukrainian leader, that West must step up its provision of ammunition in particular.
Tout a été évoqué ce soir de manière très libre et directe. Il n'y a pas de consensus aujourd'hui pour envoyer de manière officielle, assumée et endossée des troupes au sol, mais en dynamique, rien ne doit être exclu. Nous ferons tout ce qu'il faut pour que la Russie ne puisse pas gagner cette guerre. Alors, je n'ai absolument pas dit que la France n'y était pas favorable. Je ne lèverai pas l'ambiguïté des débats de ce soir en donnant des noms. Je dis que ça a été évoqué parmi les options. Je vous ai dit les 5 points sur lesquels il y avait un consensus qui s'était établi. Si ces points d'ailleurs étaient totalement mis en œuvre, il ne faudrait pas exclure qu'ils nécessitent des sécurisations qui justifient ensuite quelques éléments de déploiement. Mais je vous ai dit de manière très claire ce sur quoi la France maintiendra sa position, qui est une ambiguïté stratégique que j'assume. Rien ne doit être exclu pour poursuivre l'objectif qui est le nôtre.
Welcome back. At the end of the Ukraine summit that was called in Paris yesterday, the French president was asked whether NATO members were ready to send their own forces to fight the Russian invaders.
Il n'y a pas de consensus aujourd'hui pour envoyer.
There is no consensus today to send ground troops in an official, endorsed, and sanctioned manner. But in dynamic terms, nothing should be ruled out. We will do whatever it takes to ensure that Russia cannot win this war.
But that is not what the German Chancellor agreed, and by midday a message had appeared on X which barely disguised his frustration. We agreed, he wrote, that everyone must do more for Ukraine, weapons, ammunition and air defence. We are working on it, but it is clear, he added, there will be no ground troops from European countries or NATO. Spain, Italy, Poland and the Czech Republic have since issued similar statements.
I'd like for you just in this last minute, so that the American people understand why this is so important for us to provide support to Ukraine. 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line, if Ukraine falls to Putin, what is in that future for all of us?
Well, thank you, and thank you for your support of the supplemental. If Ukraine falls, again, Putin won't stop there. He will just continue to move forward and attack and take on the sovereign territory of his neighbors. And so, if you're a Baltic state, you're really worried about whether or not you're next. And so they know Putin. They know that what he's capable of. And quite frankly, if Ukraine falls, I really believe that NATO will be in a fight with Russia in a
Generally, it's time.
matter